Hello, welcome back to the ministry. And today we are talking about temptation. I'm going to make this short because I'm going to tell you right now. If you want to know anything about temptation in relationships, I need you to watch two different playlists. One, Temptations of a Marriage Counselor. And two, I Think I Love My Wife. Okay. So those are the two in relation to temptation, but the Lord brought my attention to this. Some of your spouses, and it's funny, He brought me to a video that I recorded like 10 months ago yesterday. And ironically, I was dressed in the exact same thing when I was watching the video as I had on in the video, which to me was just creepy. That what the Lord was saying in that video was that the Lord put your spouses into a season where He's been testing them. It's almost as if, remember when Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights and He had to be tested after His baptism? I do not know. And I've always thought this was a scenario that the Lord was saying that your spouses needed to be baptized. I thought He was saying that they were going to be baptized after they met you. Some of your spouses may have gotten baptized recently, and the warfare that they've been under, and this is just coming to me, maybe because they did get baptized. But just like Jesus went through 40 days of testing and trial and all of this, they went through a level of 40 days of testing and trial and weeping and surrendering and releasing and just, they had to let it all go, let it all out. And this may have also been why, because I know a lot of people, from November all the way through up until early February, off and on consecration. There was one, Tiffany Montgomery did her consecration from November 27th through December 20 something. Then you had another one of the ministers that I follow. She did hers from the 2nd to the 22nd of January. Then Tiffany went back on for 3 more days, and it was like back to back to back to back. And it's like, I believe God needed that because these men may have already been baptized. Because I can see in baptism over and over again. I don't know whether it was a sign that they needed to be baptized, or now that I'm thinking of it, maybe they did and you had to cover them during that. It's completely unrelated to what I was going to say. But I guess it is, because I was talking about temptation. These men have been going through a level of temptation. And every time they went through their cyclical cycle of the temptation, every time they failed the test, they had to go back into the cycle again. Which you saw the word DELAY. And you was like, Lord, what happened? They failed the test. Which meant they had to go through the cycle again. And then they had to go through the cycle again. But with every cycle, something broke off. It's like with every level that you elevated, something broke off and they would lose something. But during this process of this intensity of testing, they were losing things. Things that could no longer go where they were going had to be broken off of them. I'm being reminded of a review I did of Deja Vu, because the movie came on not once, but twice in the past week or so. And I watched it one night there when it came on, and it was talking about the fact that he couldn't take certain things with him. And a lot of the words that I've been hearing lately is that these men have been trying to take certain things with them from their previous season, and God's saying no. They had to release those things, let those things go. When they let that stuff go, they would be able to be released and able to move forward into what it was that they were called to walk into in this time and in this season. In order for them to come to you and walk with you, they had to let go of mindsets, all that kind of stuff in order to be able, even childhood traumas, in order for them to be able to come to you as a clean slate. And it hurt. Some of them men were truly butthurt when they were done with God. It's like hurt. I'm talking about Good Samaritan that's been left for dead on the side of the road, because I've been hearing that word come back to me 3-4 times in the past 24 hours, that these men were in that state where they are in that left for dead state, and it's more of a spiritual left for dead state than a physical one. They realized who their friends were and who their friends were not, because people just left them. Oh, that reminds me, I got another word for y'all. I'm gonna come back with that one. So understand that these men have been being tested and being tempted, and that has been another phase of the delay that you've been seeing, because of what's been continuing to happen, and they needed to process out of them. And God's been pressing them down in such a discomfort, just like Jacob when he was being and wrestling with the Lord, the angel of the Lord, which was God, and he won. Your spouse gonna win this. Your spouse gonna get out of this. The Lord had me rewatch my review for the end of the road. And some of your spouses are in that phase. They're in the end of the road. But there were some Goliaths and some battles that they had to fight on their own before they could cross over to you. That's a good review. Go check it out. So yeah. Tested and tempted. But they gonna make it out. And they're gonna come out fine. And they're gonna end up getting to where they need to go. And some of them are way closer to you than you understand. Because the type of revelation I've been getting lately, they close. They close. Like any minute now. Literal minute. Not figurative minute. I mean any minute. And I'll either further confirm this. My father was on the phone the other night. And you know how you those little things like, if you do this, you're going to get this response in this amount of time. That's what he got on his phone. And it was one of those scenarios, it's going to happen in this amount of time. And it kept repeating. And I noticed God will bring this type of revelation up ever so often, that it was a time frame of how quickly of the turnaround you were going to see as a result to this action. And it was such a short period of time. I was like, whoa, God, what you trying to say? Because this is like repeating. And I had already had an experience recently that was, to me, I believe the Lord testing to say, hey, I need you to be aware that this could potentially happen any minute now. Where he allowed something to happen with my phone. And when it happened, I was like, oh, I need to be prepared from this point. Because that was a wake-up call for me. Be prepared. Some of y'all need to get seriously prepared, because something is about to go down. And it's going to happen soon. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. And I'll come back for the revelation that the Lord gave me off of that Good Samaritan thing. So I'll be right back in the next one.